The Knicks' hot streak continued last night, defeating the Bulls for a second straight time. This win pushed the Knicks' win streak to 6, giving them the second largest win streak in the NBA and the biggest win streak in the Eastern Conference. The Bulls are definitely not world beaters by any means, but beating a team back-to-back in the NBA is never easy, especially with both games being on the road. But the Knicks right now are playing with so much confidence that they simply can't be stopped. The Knicks are absolutely firing on all cylinders, but no player has been more impactful for them than Jalen Brunson. The funny thing is that when the Knicks signed Brunson to a 4-year, $104 million contract, so many fans were quick to say that he was overpaid. I think most fans saw a relatively unknown player and a big number and automatically assumed that the Knicks overpaid Brunson without doing their homework. But those that were watching Brunson in Dallas knew that the Knicks were getting an absolute killer when the Knicks made this signing. Brunson continued his dominant season with 20 points, 5 boards, and 3 steals against the Bulls. We're only 29 games into the season, and Brunson has already had 3 30-point and 7 assist games. The last Knicks guard to accomplish this feat was Stephon Marbury back in 2007. Against the Bulls, Brunson did most of his damage from downtown, knocking down 6 3-pointers. The scary thing is that Brunson's been one of the most efficient scoring point guards despite the fact that he's been off from downtown. Most of Jalen Brunson's damage is actually done from 2-point range, where his mid-range game, floaters, fadeaways, and smooth layup package make him a super efficient scorer. On the season, Brunson's 47% field goal percentage ranks 9th in the entire NBA amongst point guards. Once Jalen Brunson's 3-ball starts knocking down at a high rate, that's going to make him even harder to stop. And considering that Brunson is a career 37% 3-point shooter, it's likely only a matter of time before his current 33% 3-point percentage starts to rise up. But as awesome as Jalen Brunson has been this season, a new young stud has emerged recently in Quentin Grimes. When the Donovan Mitchell trade talks fell apart over the offseason and Mitchell ended up on the Cavs, it was reported by Woj that the Knicks were unwilling to include Quentin Grimes in a big trade. It was also reported that the Jazz valued Grimes more than any of the Knicks' other young players. The way Grimes is playing lately, we're starting to see why. Over his last 5 games, Grimes is averaging 15 points per game while shooting a blistering hot 55% from the field and 52% from 3. Grimes started off the year slow because of a foot injury, but since he started to gain a rhythm, he's been absolutely on fire. Grimes is not only shooting the hell out of the basketball, but he's a good off-ball player that can score on cuts to the basket or score in transition. But his biggest impact is on the defensive end, where he's turned into a legit defensive stopper. Whether it's Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, or DeMar DeRozan, the Knicks regularly put Grimes on the other team's best perimeter player, and he's done a good job of containing these guys when guarding him. Grimes is the definition of a glue guy. He's never going to average a ton of points, but the sacrifices that he makes for the team is the glue that holds the team together. This would explain why he ranks 2nd on the team in plus minus. Every single contender needs a 3-and-D guy that'll defend their ass off, be efficient offensively, and hit timely shots. And for the Knicks, Quentin Grimes is that guy. Another young Knick that's been playing great after a poor start has been RJ Barrett. I've been a big RJ critic with how he played to start the season, but I have to give credit where credit is due because he's turning the season around. Over his last 10 games, RJ is averaging 20 points per game on 45% shooting from the field and 40% from 3. Finally, the catch and shoot 3-pointers that were bricking earlier in the year are starting to fall at a high clip. He's also finishing on his drives to the rim at a much higher rate. RJ has always been able to get to the rim at will, but his main problem earlier in his career was his inability to finish at a high percentage and over-reliance on his left hand. This season, his finishing is the best it's been in his career, and he's converting at the rim whether it's right or left. When RJ Barrett is scoring the ball this well as the Knicks' 3rd option, this makes them a very tough team to defend. But we also can't forget Julius Randle's contributions as he's leading the Knicks in scoring this season. And over his last 10 games, he's really turned it up a notch, averaging 25 points per game on 45% shooting from the field and 34% from 3. Randle has been an absolute beast attacking the rim this season, where his speed, size, and strength make him hard to stop once he gets into the paint. The improvement of his three-point shot has also made him a much more deadly scorer, where he's punishing defenders that are leaving him open, when last year teams were super comfortable with Randle letting it fly. But he's also distributing the ball well, which is why over that same 10-game stretch, he's also averaging 5 assists per game. But while the Knicks offense is firing on all cylinders, their elite defense is truly the main catalyst of their success. This was on full display against the Bulls, where they held them to just 91 points. Over the Knicks' 6-game win streak, they ranked number 1 in defensive rating in the entire NBA, and they moved to 8th in defensive rating on the season as a whole. The Knicks have regained their defensive identity from 2 years ago, where they finished 4th in the East, and it's a big reason that they're winning right now. Mitchell Robinson anchors that elite defense, where his size makes it impossible for opposing teams to score efficiently in the paint. He's averaging 2 blocks per game, but even if he doesn't get the block, his size and length is extremely tough for driving players to finish over. But it's also Emmanuel Quickley and Deuce McBride who give the Knicks some incredible defensive production off the bench. They're both small guards, but they pick up from full court, and they're an absolute pest against opposing ball handlers. When the Knicks are defending this well as a team while shooting the ball like they've been recently, they're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks' high level of play has moved them to a record of 16-13 and 6 in the Eastern Conference, but they're also just a game and a half out of the 4 seed and 2.5 games out of the 3 seed before the season started, making the playoffs look like a long shot, let alone securing home court advantage. But the Knicks are firing on all cylinders, so now it's starting to look like a real possibility. But now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think the Knicks can make the playoffs? Let me know in the comments. Guys, I'm trying to get to 12,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so please, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it and hit that subscribe button, and click this video for an in-depth analysis of Jalen Brunson's impact on the Knicks.